I put $500 of my own money into 5 different AI investing tools. No demo accounts, no fake numbers, real money, real risk. One of them lost me money in 11 minutes. Another one actually surprised me, enough that I'm still using it right now, today, with my own portfolio. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which of these 5 tools are built to make you money, and which ones are built to make someone else money off of you. Let's start with the worst one. I've spent the last few years building a portfolio the boring way: index funds, dollar cost averaging, the stuff that actually works. So when AI investing tools started flooding my feed, promising to out-trade the market while I sleep, I had one question: is any of this real? So I did the only thing that actually answers that question. I gave 5 of them real money and I ranked them from scam to legit based on 3 things: transparency, does it actually tell you what it's doing with your money; performance, does it beat just doing nothing; and cost, what's it actually taking from you to help you. Here's how bad and how good it got. Tool number 5 lost me money before I even finished my coffee. Tool number 1 is something I'll probably still be using a year from now. Stick around because the order might surprise you. Let's start at the bottom. This is one of those AI trading bot apps, the ones that promise something like guaranteed daily returns, an autopilot algorithm, and a dashboard that looks more like a video game than a brokerage account. Here's why these exist. Retail investors want the outcome of investing, being rich, without the process of investing, patience. That gap between desire and effort is exactly what predatory apps are built to exploit. If something promises to remove risk from an inherently risky activity, that promise itself is the red flag. I funded the account with $100. Within minutes, the AI had already made 14 trades, in and out of positions in seconds, each one bleeding a small fee. There was no explanation of strategy, no visibility into what it was actually buying, just a number going down, next to a green robot icon telling me it was optimizing. 11 minutes in, I'd lost close to 9% of what I put in, almost entirely to fees and spread, not even bad trades. Metric, transparency, rating near 0, no visible strategy; performance, rating down 9% in 11 minutes; and cost, rating hidden fees on every micro trade. Verdict: scam adjacent. Avoid. If your investing app looks like a slot machine, it's because it's designed to make you feel like you're gambling, because you are. Tool number 4 wasn't a scam exactly, it was something almost worse, because it looked completely legitimate. This one is a robo-advisor with an AI label slapped on top. Clean interface, real brokerage backing, actual regulatory disclosures. On paper, it looks like the responsible choice. This is the more dangerous category, honestly, not because it's predatory, but because AI-powered is a marketing word, not a technical one. A lot of these platforms are running the same rules-based rebalancing that robo-advisors have used for over a decade. The word AI gets bolted on afterwards because it converts better in ads. I put in $100, answered the risk questionnaire, and let it build me a portfolio. It allocated me into a mix of ETFs, reasonable, diversified, nothing wrong with it structurally, but when I dug into the fee disclosure, buried 3 menus deep, I found a 0.89% annual advisory fee on top of the expense ratios of the ETFs it was already buying. That means I was paying a premium for AI to do something I could replicate myself for free in about 10 minutes using 3 plain index funds. I asked their in-app chat what the AI was actually doing differently from a standard robo-advisor. The answer was a paragraph of marketing language that said, functionally, nothing. Metric, transparency, rating low, fees hidden, no real AI explanation; performance, rating in line with the market minus the extra fee; and cost, rating 0.89% per year, premium for a rebranded robo-advisor. Verdict: not a scam, still not worth it. The lesson here isn't avoid this app specifically, it's this platform can't clearly tell you what its AI is doing differently than a spreadsheet formula. You're paying for a label, not a service. Tool number 3 is where things start to get actually interesting, because this is the first one where the AI is doing something a human genuinely couldn't do as fast. This is an AI research and screening tool. It doesn't trade for you, it analyzes thousands of stocks and flags patterns, earnings anomalies, insider buying clusters, unusual options activity. This is where AI genuinely earns its place in investing, not as a decision maker, but as a research accelerant. A human analyst reading through thousands of earnings call transcripts and filings would take weeks. This tool does a version of that in seconds. The demand here is real. Professional funds have had this kind of tooling for years. Retail investors haven't. I ran a screen for companies with unusual insider buying combined with low analyst coverage, the kind of research that would normally take me an entire weekend. It returned a shortlist in about 4 seconds. I picked one, cross-checked the fundamentals myself, and it held up. The company had a legitimate reason to be flagged. I didn't blindly invest based on the tool. I used it the way it's meant to be used, as a filter, not an oracle. That distinction is the whole story with this one. Metric, transparency, rating high, shows its reasoning and data sources. Performance, rating doesn't trade, so no direct return, but genuinely useful signal. And cost, $20 a month, no hidden fees. Verdict, legit tool, not a strategy on its own. This is the first tool on the list where I'd actually recommend it, with one condition: never let a screening tool make the final decision for you. Use it to find candidates, not to pull the trigger. Now we get to the two that actually surprised me, including the one I said earlier I'm still using with my own money, and the reason it works is something almost nobody talks about when they review these apps. This one is an AI-powered portfolio auditor. It doesn't pick stocks and it doesn't manage your money. It looks at a portfolio you already have and tells you what's actually wrong with it. Hidden overlap between funds, fee drag you didn't notice, sector concentration you didn't realize you had. Here's the demand behind this one. Most people don't have a no portfolio problem, they have a messy portfolio problem. A little bit in an old 401k, a brokerage account they opened during a meme stock phase, maybe a robo-advisor from 3 years ago they forgot about. Nobody sits down and looks at all of it together. That's a boring task, and boring tasks are exactly what AI is actually good at. I connected 3 accounts, including one I hadn't touched in over a year. Within about 30 seconds, it flagged something I genuinely didn't know. 2 of my diversified ETFs had almost 40% overlapping holdings in the same 5 megacap stocks. I thought I owned 2 different things. I basically owned one thing twice. It also caught a fee I'd been paying on a dormant account that I'd completely forgotten existed, small on its own, but compounding quietly for over a year. This is the moment in the whole experiment where the AI label actually felt earned, not because it was flashy, because it did something tedious, unglamorous, and genuinely useful that I wouldn't have caught myself. Metric, transparency, rating very high, shows exactly what it found and why. Performance, didn't grow my money, saved me from quietly losing it. And cost, free tier covers the basics. Verdict, legit, genuinely underrated. Nobody's making a viral video about AI found a boring fee I forgot about, but that's exactly the kind of AI that actually respects your money instead of gambling with it. So, if a portfolio auditor is that useful, what beat it? This is the one I said at the start I'm still using with my own money. It's an AI-assisted, automated investing platform, but the key difference from Tool 4 is what it's automating. The single hardest part of investing isn't picking the right fund, it's behavior. Panic selling in a downturn, chasing a hot stock, stopping contributions when money's tight. This tool's AI isn't picking exotic investments, it's automating the boring, proven strategy, dollar cost averaging into diversified index funds, and using pattern recognition to nudge me at exactly the moments I'd be tempted to break that discipline. 3 weeks into using it, the market had a rough week, the kind of dip that historically makes people panic and sell. Instead of a buy now push notification designed to spike engagement, it sent me a short, plain language note. This is a normal, expected market movement. Your allocation hasn't changed. No action needed. That's it.
No manipulation, no urgency bait, just quiet, boring reinforcement of the strategy I already knew was right. At the exact moment, willpower alone might have failed me. I checked the fee structure line by line, 0.25% annually, full transparency on every holding it holds, no proprietary black box trading. Metric, transparency, rating full visibility into every holding and fee, performance, matches the market, no more, no less, exactly as promised, and cost, 0.25% per year, clearly disclosed. Verdict, the most legit of the 5. So, the twist is, the best AI investing tool on this list isn't the one that promises to beat the market, it's the one that helps you not sabotage yourself while the market does what it's always done.
So, scam to legit. Here's exactly how the $500 shook out. Number 5, the trading bot. Lost me 9% in 11 minutes. Avoid it completely. Number 4, the rebranded robo-advisor. Not a scam, just an expensive label. Number 3, the research screener. Genuinely useful, but only as a filter. Out of $500 spread across 5 tools, the ones that actually helped had almost nothing in common with the ones that promised the most. So, is AI investing real or is it hype? Both. The hype is real, and it's mostly attached to the tools that talk the loudest about beating the market. The actual value, the stuff that's quietly, boringly working, is AI that doesn't try to replace good judgment. It reinforces it. It catches what you missed. The scariest tool on this list wasn't the one that lost money fastest. It was the one that looked the most legitimate while doing the least. If you want the exact 3-fund portfolio I mentioned earlier, the one that costs nothing, I'll drop it in the description. And I want to know, which of these 5 would you actually trust with your own money? Comment your pick below.